This week, Lena Philipsson, one of Sweden's most celebrated pop stars, known for her infectious hits and electrifying performances, and who is set to take on an exciting challenge as the lead singer of Roxette for their 2025 tour. Now, Lena's careful not to hype any expectations, as obviously the love for the late Marie Fredriksson is still there. But for fans of Roxette, this is a chance for them to hear their favorite tracks live again.
I'm very, very happy to work together with Per because he's a legend. It's not that far away, a bit more rock and roll, absolutely. I'm just trying to be me, but it's not really true because when you go on stage, you need to be more. It's too late now. I can't back out now.
Just a second to ask you to like, follow, and maybe even take out a membership of the podcast, because that will help me continue. And if you haven't heard the interview with Per Gessle from Roxette, then the link is above. For now, though, here's Lena Philipsson. Lena Philipsson, welcome. I want to start by talking about your early life. When you were brought up in Vetlanda, which is a very small town, and it's sort of in southern Sweden. I think on the map, if you look at sort of Stockholm and Malmo, it's somewhere near the center of that route.
Yes.
And I just wondered, being brought up in a small town, what your very early life was like, what freedom that gave you.
Well, I guess the kind of freedom that you have in a small town, because nothing was really dangerous there. You could just move around and be very free as a child, I guess, playing with your friends and, well, no big problems, really, I guess. So that's a kind of freedom, I guess, because I now live in Stockholm and my own children was brought up here, and that's another different climate to grow up in, and you're more afraid of things will happen, bad things will happen to them. But you didn't think like that when you grow up in a small town in Sweden, Vetlanda.
Your parents, were they musical in any way, and what sort of encouragement did you get from them?
Well, yeah, actually, my father played the drums. He was actually quite good at it, and my mom could sing. And they were together in a band when we were quite little. I have two siblings, one older sister and one younger brother, and they were out playing it like local when we were very, very young, and. But not kind of pop band. It was more like they listened to like Radio Luxembourg and copied the songs there and played it to people, and they could dance to it. So, so music was all around at home, and they also liked to paint paintings, and it was kind of a creative home. Very creative home, and very free in that sense too.
I mean, what's interesting about that is if you're brought up by parents who are creative, they value a creative life. Whereas, if I look at my parents, it was more like, you need to get a job that pays you money,
Yeah.
less than a creative life. So were they supported in the idea of a creative life?
Yes, I think so. Even though we've always been like have a low key in our family, not expecting too much, and we're happy with the little thing, and don't dream too much, don't dream too big. But I always felt that they supported me with this career, because it was like when I had the chance to do this, it was like, of course you have to take that chance. It was never about don't do that, for God's sake. It's no, not at all like that. It was just amazing to get the opportunity to do this. So yes, I had their support. Yeah.
But when you were younger, were you able to sort of, did your mother encourage you to sing with her at times? And I just wondered when that talent that you have exhibited itself.
Well, I mean, very early on, I was interested in the piano and trying to play some songs, and trying very early to do my own songs by the piano and singing together with my sister. No, Mom didn't really sing that much. She didn't really show that side a lot. My father play the drums in the cellar where he had kept his drums, and he played to some records he had down there, and played in a very high volume, and like the big band and soul music, and play to that. But my mom never, not that often singing to us, but I sang myself. So I mean, it was kind of, I guess, obvious from the beginning. I don't know. I mean, both my siblings are also interested in music, but not as much as I was. So, but me and my sister were singing by the piano, me playing, and we sang something and like that, things like that.
I mean, I think what's interesting, I've talked to other singers and they mention a sort of time where they performed and they got, when they were very young, and they got some sort of recognition in terms of that family and friends would applaud them. And it was a feeling that they got from that encouraged them. Did you have that?
I don't know really, because I've always been very, very shy. And if my mom and dad asked me to play maybe a song for their friends, I would just refuse. I would just run and hid away. I would never do that. So I was very, very shy, but it's still the same. I just love music and love to actually be creative. So I think, but then when I got the opportunity, when I was a little bit older, like when I was a teenager, then I more like tried to seek some opportunity to try this with music. But before that, no, I didn't. Not as a small child, no. But of course, people thought I was good, but I was still very shy and didn't really want to show that or be in the center of people's eyes. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting you say being shy, because I read a book from a German psychotherapist, I forgot his name, but it was really about how some of the most famous people in the world are painfully shy, and their drive comes from their shyness. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're successful, and you're very successful, then you have a drive, and that drive comes from something. It always comes from something. And I just wonder whether the shyness is, in a sense, a drive, because every time you go on stage, you have to overcome something. And so it gives you a sort of hit.
I don't know. I think this will be some boring answers, because if I went off stage, I was just happy I didn't die. More like that. But of course, at the same time, it was kind of a magic thing to play your own song by the piano and sing. I mean, I guess I was kind of proud of that too at the same time. But I mean, it was a struggle to just get up there and do it. I was terribly nervous, but I did it anyway, because it was more fun than scary, kind of, I guess. So I just continued, and then suddenly I got this. I signed a contract on a record company, and so I mean, I chose that way still.
It's funny, because music, I mean, for many people, and for me, it was a sort of escape. It was an escape, in a sense, not that they were bad, but it was an escape from my parents' world. Do you know what I mean? It was something that I could have my own world. So I would listen to music in the bedroom. I would, watch, because of things like Top of the Pops, music on television in Britain. And music provided a different world, but it also provided something else. Because when I was a teenager and I saw David Bowie, and being a sort of young gay kid at that time, Bowie represented a world where I could belong. Were there artists in your early teenage years that you really identified with and provided a world of belonging for you?
No, I guess I've never been thinking like that, in that sense. I've never hid in the music in that sense. No, I just love different kinds of music. And of course, I love to go dance. I love to dance on the school dance. You dance to the disco music or the pop music that was popular then at that time. And I, at the same time, discovered, as you said, David Bowie or a great singer like Stevie Wonder or Chaka Khan. And I never had the feeling that I hid in it and created my own world. Not quite. I just enjoyed it, kind of. I don't know. But I'm also kind of artist that I like to be. I mean, I always think in a show way when I work on stage. It's almost never just music. It's like I want to do something more with it, like I direct it or somehow. And I don't know if that's a difference between you and me, because I understand what you say when you use music in that sense that you created a own world, but I don't remember I ever did that. But maybe no, I don't know. I don't think I did.
So when you write today, so you're visualizing how you would perform. So the performance is for you very much part of the music and sort of integral to what you want to present.
Yes, exactly that, like that. I mean, I've done a lot of shows on stage, and I mean, by show, I mean like, like the type of Las Vegas show, but with less money here in Sweden. You're on some kind of stage for like 2 or 3 months, and you play 4 times a week. And when you do that type of show, it contains monologues, or I play the piano, or I maybe back then long time ago I did some kind of dancing too and changed clothes, and you did everything on that stage. And yes, it's exactly like that. I can think about what to do next on stage. I would like to do this, be more maybe intimate, maybe some more intimate monologues, and I should play the piano a little bit more. And then I start to plan my writing. When I write songs, I write that type of music, actually. So it's a big part of what I'm doing. It's just connected to each other when I work.
So if you're giving monologues on stage, you're obviously talking about something. What sort of message or feeling, or what are you talking about? What are you trying to get across?
Well, it depends. It may be something fun as well, make people laugh, or something more truthful about myself, about loneliness or whatever. And then I play this song that connects to that. And so I create some kind of scene, or like a movie or something on stage. And so it could be different things, but it's important to me to connect with my audience when I speak. So the speaking part has become more important by the time. In the beginning, when I started, when I was 20 years old, I didn't say a single word. I didn't understand what to say to the audience because I didn't know them. But now it's an important part of me being on stage, to talk to the audience and to connect in that way.
Is it satisfying to sort of grow with the audience then? Because the way you term that is that your audience has stayed with you and you have grown with them. So in a sense, they're parallel worlds that are going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this business has given me so much when it comes to my own development. I have explored new things. I like to step outside the box and try a new thing, come up with new ideas to surprise the audience and myself. And so I think I've come a long way since I lived in Vetlanda, for instance. I felt like I was just picked up out of the sofa in Vetlanda onto this stage, and then I've developed over time and learned a lot of stuff, and I use that, all my experiences, but still I want to explore new things. So yeah, that's a pattern I've noticed.
You've had a long connection to Per Gessle. And I believe he wrote the lyrics, and here I go with my Swedish, which is going to murder everyone.
Give it a try.
Kärleken är evig.
No,
Love
again,
is eternal.
come again.
Kärleken är evig.
Kärleken.
Kärleken är evig.
Kärleken är evig. Precis. Love is eternal. Yes. That was my breakthrough song. back in 1986. And actually, amazingly enough, Per Gessle actually wrote that lyrics for me. And that was just between, it was after he had left Gyllene Tider and before he had started up Roxette. So it was kind of, didn't know what to do, and he started to write music and lyrics for other artists. And to me, for instance. And so if you watch that Melodifestivalen in Sweden, it's a very big TV show. And it's a show, if you win there, you go to the Eurovision to compete. So we are in that TV show together, me and the music composer, Torgny Söderberg, who worked together with for a very long time. And then Gessle, we're standing there, all three of us, being interviewed. That's amazing.
I mean, it was a breakthrough moment for you, wasn't it? Because you came second in that competition, and it pushed you into a sort of different level. How aware, because Gyllene Tider was a very big, and has been throughout, the Swedish music scene, a very big band. How aware were you of Per before you?
Did you say Gyllene Tider? I'm just thinking about what did you say?
Gyllene Tider.
Yes. Gyllene Tider. Okay, right. Just checking.
I'm going to get murdered from every Swedish friend.
No, it's good. It's good. It makes me feel better because my English, so on. Fight again, yes.
No, was it, well, obviously, you got sent this lyric, but you must have known of Per before because, they were successful. And I just wondered for you what that band, his band, meant for you before. Did it have a strong meaning for you?
Well, I'm a little bit younger than Per, so I was maybe a little bit too young for, of course, I heard their hit songs on the radio, absolutely. I never watched their concerts, never did, but I mean, Sweden is a small country. Everyone knows what happens in Sweden. So, of course, we all knew and all heard about everything. Yeah.
When I saw that photo, actually, I looked it up online. And the thing that hit me was the hair, of course, because we all had that hair.
I was about to say the hair. Did you see the hair? Yeah.
Which
in
is
the
amazing.
80s, wonderful.
I mean, the hair's one thing, but if I sort of think back to my MTV days and I think back about the person I was then, I really don't connect. That person I don't recognize. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And I just wondered about how you feel about when you look at that photo, how you feel inside about your younger self.
Well, it's the same thing here. I can't really connect any longer because I see it's me. I know it's me. I know I did that, but I can't feel how it felt to be inside that body anymore because I moved on so far away from that person. But it's amazing. But, I know I've been in the business for a very long time, almost 40 years now. So, so that it feels very, very far away.
I mean, you've had a strong connection. You mentioned Melodin Festival. Obviously, your connection to Eurovision had another massive impact later on for you. Do you feel there have been any negative sides to being connected to Eurovision, or has it always been positive?
Well, it depends on what you want in life. I think I maybe have compromised a little bit with the music because I wanted to me, as we said before, the show part of it is just as important to me. So I like the fact to be on a big platform I want all of the people to hear the song, and so I can work with the song and go for a tour or maybe do a show or whatever. So I guess I like to work that way. I mean, maybe if I've done something somewhere else, it might be a harder life, perhaps, maybe more of a struggle, perhaps. And I don't know, just my entree was in Melodifestivalen, and so maybe it just formed me in a sense that I kept going, and I wanted the same feeling that I like when everybody sees it, and it's it makes a great impact to everyone. So I don't know. Yeah, but sometimes I have been experimenting, absolutely. But if you ask people, they always say this Melodifestival songs because they are the biggest in a sense. So people also choose them over other songs that I actually have sung. So I don't know, but I've accepted that. I'm not complaining here. I think I've had a great career, and I've been able to do a lot of things that I wanted to do in a personal way, and so no, I'm happy with it. So, but of course, it depends. It depends on what you want. The credibility is not that very high every time. If you've been into the Melodifestivalen, I understand that.
But does that matter? I mean, I think sometimes,
No,
music is
not
music
for
in
me.
the end, isn't it? It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
no, it doesn't matter for me anyway, because I've been able to do so many things anyway. So no, and no, so I don't care. But maybe some other people do. I don't know.
I mean, one thing that made me laugh was this review of you from the Eurovision It Hurts,
Yeah.
when you came fifth, and you were strangely compared to Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Oh, I was. I missed that. Oh
I
my God. Now I see
it
the
made me
picture in
laugh, but I
front of me.
liked
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I mean, I think it
Oh
was,
my
it
God.
was a sort of, you were slightly strutting on stage, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it had
yeah, and it was
that,
dark, long hair, and I
yeah.
understand it. Yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
When you go on stage, do you enter a different persona?
Well, kind of. I'm just trying to be me, but it's not really true, because when you go on stage, you need to be more than just me. I mean, you have to be the best of you in every way. So in some way, it's like someone else. And because I'm a little bit more like an introvert, it's not that really natural and normal for me to be on stage like that, but still I am, because I'm doing this job. I'm singing and I'm good at it, and I like to create things. But so yeah, you have to just get your energy together and get up there and give the audience everything.
I remember interviewing Madonna once, and I asked her a question, and she said, she just thought, and she said, "What would Madonna say?" So Madonna for her was
Yeah,
another
but
person. Did you see
yes,
what I mean?
yes, I understand exactly what you mean, because I can talk about myself in third person sometimes, like Lena Philipsson hit, Lena Philipsson that. What's the next thing to do for me? What would be the right thing to do, or whatever? So yes, of course, it's some kind of, as you say, persona you use when you go on stage. But at the same time, I mean, the part when I talk more to the audience, that it's a way for me to just connect more to the real person I am, and I joke in the way that I like to joke, and that makes so I'm kind of myself on stage, but more.
It's also a protection to have another persona, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We all need to have a partial private life. And my real name is Stephen James, and Steve Blaine was a made-up name for MTV. But Steve Blaine could be, and I'm shy, so Steve Blaine could be an over-the-top character in a way. It's sort of something I lived out. And Stephen James is much more reserved. And so it allowed me to feel private in private.
Yeah, but I think I have like two persons in me. When I'm private, I'm very private. I don't have this urge to people to watch me when I'm out in the city to buy something. I don't want people to recognize me, really, so I'm just hiding away. At the same time, I have this job when I have to climb up the stage and do all this with high heels and the makeup, and be some kind of person. At the same time, I wouldn't say that person on stage is not a lie, because it's also me. I can do that, but it's some kind of perhaps acting, but it's not a false acting. It's like I'm digging up the feelings for this song now, and I'm gonna make this lyrics true, and I'm reading the audience at the same time. So I mean, it's kind of a lot of work in many layers when I'm on stage for me.
Don't go away, just time to let you know about my new website, popthehistorymakers.com. There you'll find over 100 interviews of all your favorite pop stars. And if you want to take out a membership, please do, because that helps me. Now, let's get back to Lena Philipsson. there were other songs that you recorded from Per, which was on your Talking in Your Sleep album. So you
Yes, I
had Never
know.
Is a Long Time and Take It or Leave It. But Never Is a Long Time was recorded by Roxette later. And
Yes,
because you're going to be going on tour with Per as Roxette in the
yeah.
future, and I just wondered if Never Is a Long Time is going to be one of the songs, and also the way you're approaching it, how you sing in comparison to Marie, because you're two different entities, you're two different types of singer.
Well, I have to make you disappointed because we're not singing Never Is a Long Time.
Ah, okay.
We're not doing that song. And how it is for me to do this Roxette thing, well, I was surprised when I got the question. And I immediately thought about that kind of difficult situation that Marie Fredriksson, this amazing singer, doesn't. She passed away sadly enough, and I can only do my best here because I can never I can never be Marie. So, but I've accepted that when I said yes to this. So I know that. So I can only do what I do. But I think I mean, the songs are very strong and full of melodies, and so I think I will just try to sing them as they're supposed to be, as Marie would have sung them, actually, even though there would be some differences between us, of course. But I just would like to, honor her, the songwriting, and the audience. So I don't know what to say really, because it's too late now. I can't back out now. So I just have to focus and do my thing and just do it as good as I can. That's what I'm thinking right now.
How did it actually come about? Because weren't you working with Per on, and here comes another murder of a Swedish word,
Okay.
sällskapsjuk.
Sällskapssjuk.
Sällskapssjuk.
Sjuk, yeah, I know can be very difficult, but good try. Good try.
Which means sociopathic in English. So you were working with him.
Yes, he
And
asked me. I got the question. Yes, I got the question if I wanted to sing a duet together with him, this Sällskapssjuk, in Swedish, and I thought that was a very happy surprise. So I immediately said yes, and he asked me if I wanted to go down to Halmstad, to his small town in the south of Sweden, to record it, or if we should do it in Stockholm. And I thought maybe a little bit clever. I will go down to Halmstad to visit him there in his hoods, and to be in his studio where he wants to work, and to meet the people he works together with. And we will have some more time, and we will talk and so on. And everything went very smooth. He was very easygoing, and it was easy in the studio. Try this, yes, and try that, and so on. And we had some kind of long, nice dinner afterwards, where we talked about everything that happened in our career. And I told him I was now in a free time mode, where I just rest and thinking about the future, what to do next, what maybe I should start to write new songs, and which direction, and so on. And so I presented the whole picture for him. And I was thinking, if I'm lucky, he will ask me for some more stuff, maybe another song together in Swedish, or maybe some kind of tour in Sweden. I actually thought that. And just 3-4 days after that meeting, that singing, he actually texted me and wanted to have a meeting and wanted to ask me some crazy question. And I was like this at home. It worked. But when I came to him and he asked me this question about Roxette, it was very unexpected. I didn't see that coming at all. So that surprised me a little. So I had to think a little bit about it, and I asked my people around me. I got this question: what do we think, and what do we feel? And over here in 25, and maybe like this and that. And but everyone just thought it was super and great, and I realized I could never say no to this. So I said yes, even though I know the difficulties with me not being Marie, of course, and all that. But and another thing that's very different is that no one knows about me in South Africa and Australia. They don't know nothing about me. And that's kind of different situation for me to be in when I'm walking out on stage and no one like, well, who is that? Hello, sorry, hi. Or I don't know, but but still an adventure. And I'm very, very happy to work together with Per because he's a legend. So
isn't that an advantage that you won't be known? I mean, in Sweden, people are going to know you, obviously, you know, but that would be a later incarnation of the tour. But in, you know, South Africa, as you mentioned, the other countries that you're going to, the fact is you have all this experience over, you know, 35 years or whatever. You have a massive amount of experience behind you. And so it's not like you're coming on stage as a newcomer. So I think for the audience, it's actually very positive. And then there's another side. If you look at Queen, and obviously, you know, Freddie Mercury died in 91 or whatever it was. And I think the fact that they've joined with Adam Lambert and continued has raised the profile of Freddie Mercury, but it's also raised the profile of Adam Lambert. So there's been nothing but positivity. It's not like anyone is trying to compare the two, but they're saying they're both good. Do you see what I mean? So I think actually it's a very clever idea, and you've got an advantage because you've got so much experience as a performer and singer.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know yet. That's also the little bit scary part of this because it's a lot of talking about this tour and Roxette and here and there, but it's just speculation. We don't know yet. That's a little bit scary. But well, of course, I'm looking forward to doing this, of course. And we start rehearsing in the end of January, and that will be some kind of it will be nice to just start that rehearsal to try it for real. And I can understand that Per wants someone to sing this song from Sweden to keep the Swedish touch in it. So, well, yeah. And if someone wants to hear these amazing songs, someone else has to sing them. So it's me now. But yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Per, and you said, you know, I mean, I loved interviewing him. It's such a great person, and you have the feeling that he has an immense work ethic. What do you think the qualities of Per are? Because he's been, you know, such a successful songwriter, and he's clearly someone that is incredibly driven and doesn't stop working.
No, he doesn't stop working. He's just full of energy, and that's amazing in itself. It's like he just loves to work with music and is a really amazing songwriter. So, and it's very, as I told you before in the studio, it's very easygoing. Everything is very easy, very kind, very nice. We're laughing, joking, and I mean, no problem at all. It's very easy. So I just have positive things to say about him for now.
Do you have favorite Roxette songs? I mean, everyone, you know, it's like It Must Have Been Love or Joyride. There's always a favorite amongst them. And I wonder whether there are certain songs where you felt in your past where you felt, oh my God, that's such a great song. And you could imagine yourself being in that. And now here you are, and you will be in that.
Yeah, I mean, I loved It Must Have Been Love. Absolutely. I liked Soul Deep as well. I don't know if you know that song, but yeah. So yeah, it will feel kind of strange to walk out on the stage somewhere there in the end of February to actually do this. Now it's reality, and I hope I'm just going to be able to kind of enjoy it at the same time that it's scary, you know. To just take it in and because it is a big adventure, this. And I'm grateful that I got the question. I'm flattered and I'm grateful for that. And yeah, it will be an amazing adventure.
Isn't it also an amazing opportunity? Because, you know, it's going to be a world stage. And if this works, I'm sure there's going to be more to it. So you know what I mean? This is just the test phase sort of thing.
Yes, it's a test phase. It's a test phase. We know nothing about it. But, well, that's the thing. I don't know anything about the future when it comes to this project. I don't know. We're doing this now, and then we'll see. At the same time, I'm just, trying to maybe plan something for myself to do my own stuff here in Sweden, maybe, and so on. So, but I realize it's kind of a difficult state right now because you don't really know what's going to happen. But right now it's this tour, and it's a tour later on in the summertime. It would up. That's all I know. That's all I know for now.
I mean, when you're performing your own songs, you've either written them or you've chosen, they've been written for you, but you've chosen the songs that you want to sing. So they fit in terms of your own persona and the way you sing. Obviously now singing these songs presents different challenges.
They're not that far away from, we both come from the era of the 80s. And back then it was those big melodies and big choruses and the key change and sing strong and high and a long note here, please. And I did that too. So it's not that far away, a bit more rock and roll, absolutely. But not that far away from me as you can possibly think, I would say. But they are not, it's not like a walk in a park. It's like they all have this big range in them, very high and also very low. So it's something extra. Certain songs are something really extra. So you have to really do a really good job here.
Will it be different for you also not being solo on stage? You know what I mean? Because I know you'll be the singer of Roxette. I mean, obviously Per does some parts, but you'll be the main singer. But is this also a difference because you're the center and focus of your life?
Well, not really, because I've been working together with other artists before, so that's not something new for me. So no, but I don't know anything yet about our energy, chemistry together, me and Pers. So I don't know anything about that yet. But no, I think that would be fun.
Have you met Marie in the past? Have you met
her? Yes, I did several times on parties and events and so on. Absolutely. Very, very nice person, very, very humble and sweet, very sweet. Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the 80s, which was, for me, also my introduction to Sweden because of MTV was in the late 80s. And I found the 80s and also, well, actually the 90s as well, but the 80s was such a sort of inspiring time in Sweden because everything felt like it was changing and moving very quickly. And there was some really exciting performance coming out of Sweden. And I don't know whether it was MTV, but there was a sort of move to sing in English, which is a sort of move to internationalize. How was that late 80s? How exciting was that late 80s period for you?
Well, I started 86, so I was very, very into the whole business, the rest of that 80s, 86, 87, 88, 89. I released an album every year back then. So I did really work a lot. So and I tried to sing in Swedish, in English, and it's more like Swinglish maybe, but I was experimenting too. Well, I don't know. I mean, we talked about a long time ago before. It feels kind of a long time ago, and as I told you, I've tried to keep on developing. So that was one phase, but I moved very far from that period of time as well. So yeah, it was special. It meant a lot, and it was but no, now I'm here. I don't know what to say really about that period of time. Working a lot.
Have you also focused, because of the Roxette tour coming up next year, have you sort of focused of what happens afterwards, what you want to do after that and what that might be?
Always, always, always thinking about that. Even though I lay in my sofa, my brain is still working. So I'm always thinking about the next project and the next thing to do and how and when and so on. So I talk to my production company about that. And but it depends, as we said, it depends on what happens with this. So we're guessing right now, well, maybe like this over here. And but I always think about the future and what to do with the rest of my life, kind of. I want to do different things and I want to have time to do them before it's too late and so on. So yeah, always thinking about that.
I mean, I did sort of mention about this possibility of an opportunity, and you have a vast body of work that you can present to a wider audience. I know I'm jumping the gun, but this will work. And this will be something that will introduce you to a much wider world audience.
You mean if I'm interested in outside Sweden?
Yeah.
A career? I don't know. I actually didn't really think of just that. I realized it could be like that, but I'm not sure. You know, I've always been happy here in Sweden. I guess at the same time right now, because I'm brave enough to say yes to this project, if something happens, that means that I will do something outside Sweden. I don't know what to answer on that. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, long time ago, I didn't have, that was way too big for me. I mean, I remember when actually in 88, I was in England, London, and there was a management that wanted to sign me. They wanted me to move there for like 2 or 3 years, and so they can work with me. And back then, I was like 22, 23. It was way too big, out of the question. I didn't do it, and I didn't want to do it. To me, Sweden was enough, and I would just be sad and alone there. So I've never had that as a dream. Now, doing this, I don't know. We'll see.
It's interesting you say that, because it sort of makes me feel like you're still the small town girl, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
I am. In many ways, I am, absolutely. At the same time, I'm full of experience now, so I work in a different way, you could say, and I know exactly what to do, and I drive. I mean, I lead the projects I'm doing in every sense, but still, yeah, I don't know. Do I want that outside Sweden? I'm not sure. Hard work too. So many movies to watch, films and series.
You're so non-pop star.
Yeah,
I
know. I know.
Most of them are completely driven. I think it's fantastic. Has there been any talk about new songs with Per under the name Roxette?
Well, no, he haven't said anything about that yet. So I don't know that either. I actually asked him quite early, but I don't know. We start like this, and we'll see. I guess it depends on how it all works out with everything. But if it would like to, yeah, that would maybe be exciting. Yes. Then I have to be a pop star.
Well, Lena Philipsson, I want to thank you, because I have to say this. I have so many friends in Sweden, and you are their absolute favorite, and they were so excited that I was going to meet you. So this is brilliant.
Really? Oh yeah, all the Swedes been very, very positive to this with Roxette thing. They all been like, oh yeah, that's the right choice, but that's Sweden. So but a lot of positive response for that.
Okay, Lena, thanks a lot for joining me.
Thanks.
Up there is an interview I recommend. Down there is where you can find all the podcast interviews. And here is where you can connect.